So basically, these things are called, most of what you get on the shelf now is called beta-hydroxybutyrate.
Okay.
Right, that's its chemical name, BHB. So when you go into a health food store or a supplement store, the supermarket, you search on the internet, and if you search for ketones, you'll get a range of articles telling you about how your body makes ketones.
Yes.
And you'll also find information on ketones that you can buy.
Right.
Now, just a quick aside, these are not to be confused with the raspberry ketones that were popular about 10 years ago. They were a diet supplement, they were a diet pill, completely different.
Okay.
These are an artificial form of the ketones that our body makes.
So, I have a curly one for you.
Do you indeed?
I do, because I know you love when I just come up with a little topic to discuss that I haven't given you any preparation for. But I know this one's a passionate one of yours, and it's one that we're getting lots and lots of questions about. Some people are big fans, some people are dead against it. There's a whole bunch of people in the middle that say, I don't know what it is.
Right.
Tell me all about it. Exogenous ketones. Exogenous.
See, that's a mouthful in itself,
Yes,
isn't
the
it?
problem is we can't say it. Why
Can't even
can't say it? How do you say it?
Exogenous.
Exogenous.
Exogenous ketones.
It's not exogenous, is it?
No,
Sure.
exogenous.
I was going to reinvent the name. Exogenous ketones, yes. Because a lot of people hear about them. A lot of people are promoting them in different forums. There's a huge variety of them.
True.
And if you're on the ketogenic lifestyle, anything that has ketones attached to the name is going to pique your interest. And the big question is, what are they? Do I need them? What's the benefits? That's my curly one. Go for it.
Where do you want me to start?
I guess for the average person out there, and that's me included, first of all, I know how to say it, which is exciting. Now, secondly, I need to know what they are, what are the benefits of taking them, and then should I be taking them?
All right, so you're right. So first of all, exogenous ketones simply means ketones that you take rather than make.
Oh, the old take versus make.
Take versus make. So when we say take, we mean they're supplements, right? They're things that you put in your mouth and typically drink.
Okay.
So they might come in a pill form, but they're typically going to come in a powder form that you make up with water, and you make them up like a sports drink, a sports supplement, like a protein powder.
Right.
Some of them have even got protein powders in them now, so there's all sorts of varieties. I'll talk about that in a second. But basically they are a supplement that you take into your body, and they will give you ketones in your blood. Right, compared to your body making its own ketones from the fats that you eat or from fasting.
Okay.
So let's just go through that again, because it is a little bit tricky. So when we're on the ketogenic lifestyle, when we're doing keto food and fasting,
Yes.
KFF, what we know is that when we consume fats, the body, in particular the liver, takes those fats and it converts them into ketones, and that's then used as the fuel for the body.
Right.
Fuel for the brain, fuel for the body. When we fast, in other words, we don't get enough calories, the body does the same thing,
Right.
but this time it does it, instead of with fat we've consumed, it does it with our fat stores. So
Okay.
we've all, even if we're really lean, I'm fairly lean, I've still got lots and lots of fat on me,
Right.
and the body can tap into those fat stores and basically convert them into ketones. Again, the liver does that job. So we'll make our own ketones when we're either taking in fat or we are fasting and we've got a calorie deficit.
Okay, so
That's the taking in bit. Sorry, that's the making bit.
That's the making bit.
The making bit. So we make our own.
Well, you can cheat.
Well, hang on a minute. Let's not jump to opinions yet.
Well, my
you
opinion
can do
is,
that at the
if
end.
you can make them, why would you take them?
Well, that's a good point. So, in terms of what they are and how you take them first. So basically, these things are called. Most of what you get on the shelf now is called beta-hydroxybutyrate.
Okay.
Right, that's its chemical name, BHB. So when you go into a health food store or a supplement store, the supermarket, you search on the internet, and if you search for ketones, you'll get a range of articles telling you about how your body makes ketones.
Yes.
And you'll also find information on ketones that you can buy.
Right.
Now, just a quick aside, these are not to be confused with the raspberry ketones that were popular about 10 years ago. They were a diet supplement, they were a diet pill, completely different.
Okay.
These are an artificial form of the ketones that our body makes. Now, a lot of supplement companies have jumped onto
Of course they have.
this, this sort of this niche, this industry, this desire for people to take in some ketones. And so everybody's started to make these ketones. So you get all of these powders. Now, typically these things are really disgusting in their taste. I mean, they are foul.
The actual ketones.
This BHB, let's call it BHB.
Right, so we have to mask it.
You go into the supermarket or the health food store, you pick one off the shelf. If it wasn't flavoured, you'd probably vomit when you tried to take it.
Okay.
So they're highly flavoured, and they're usually sweetened, significantly sweetened, to mask the taste because they are so nasty.
All right.
All right, so they've got lots of additives. Whether those additives that build as natural, whether they're unnatural, there's still a lot of additives in them. So you've got a non-natural product, even though they say that they may be naturally fermented or naturally produced, it's still a refined product. So you've got to take that into account. So you're taking a refined product, you're going to take it like a sports drink, and what it's going to do is it's basically going to put a lot of ketones into your blood very quickly. Right. So if you're one of those people that you're getting onto the the keto lifestyle, and you've been monitoring your ketones, and you haven't seen that meter move a lot.
Right.
You've maybe got a touch of ketones, and you'd like a bit more. If you took some of these, you drank some of the ketones, you'd probably find your ketone meter spike.
Okay.
Very quickly, maybe within an hour.
Wow. Okay.
You'd see them go right up.
Yep.
Woohoo! I've got a lot of ketones in my blood.
Winner.
But then you see them drop off.
Right.
So they don't stick around for too long. They get consumed, and what you can't consume gets peed out, basically.
Okay.
So when people smell that sort of fruity or acetone smell in their urine, that's ketones being peed out of the body. Now, whether that's natural or whether it's because you've taken them, same mechanism, they still get peed out. So they're not going to get stored up. You have your drink, they're consumed, and they're gone, or they're peed out, and they're
So you're
gone.
still going to get the same benefits of having that high ketone level.
Well, we'll talk
for that period
about
of
that.
time. Okay. Or is it a different type of ketone?
So let me just talk a little bit about my journey with ketone supplements first.
Right.
Because I think rather than getting into lots of technical detail and trying to give an opinion on what benefit you do or you don't get, let me illustrate it with what happened for me, because I wasn't keto. So I wasn't doing keto. I was doing a sort of modified form of paleo, but I was drinking a lot of carbohydrates. I was drinking quite a lot of alcohol at the time. So there's no way I was keto. And I had spotted on the internet this ketone supplement. And it basically had been described as having these amazing benefits: balancing your hormones, getting more energy, strength at the gym, and all sorts of things. Now, at the time, I was having some real hormone challenges. It's a bit of a girly thing. My hormones were up and down, I was having moods. A couple of weeks a month I was great, a couple of weeks a month I was the devil incarnate.
Some would say you still are. Some would, I wouldn't. Some.
Those around me might say that. But I was getting emotional, and I'm not an emotional person. I was really struggling for a couple of weeks a month, and I was desperate to balance that out. So I saw these things, but they were incredibly expensive. And they are. These supplements are very expensive. So I sort of parked it. 6 months later, a friend of mine happened to mention them. And I said, oh, I've seen those. I'm kind of interested, but they're really expensive. And she said, oh, they're amazing. They're amazing. She said, they've balanced my hormones. I've got more strength in the gym. I'm recovering better. I'm sleeping better. Absolutely brilliant. So I was like, right, that's it.
I mean,
I gotta have me some of those. And so I jumped on a trial, but I was still a bit skeptical, because I'm one of those sort of skeptical people. So I jumped on this trial, and I remember the first couple of days, just taking a half a sachet, half a serve, and then building up to a full serving. And I've got to confess, the first couple of days I thought, well, there's not a lot here. But day 3, I actually feel really quite good. Jumped out of bed, had lots of energy, felt really, really good in the gym, worked out hard, recovered well. And this sort of progressed over the course of, let's say, 10 to 14 days. What I found was I started to become less emotional. I started to become less moody and less irritable. I didn't have as many food cravings, so I wasn't craving sugar, I wasn't craving alcohol. I also wasn't getting that sort of jittery feeling. I wasn't getting the highs and lows. I didn't seem to be getting the high after food and the low after, when my blood sugar crashed. I generally just felt balanced. And, this sort of went on, and I kept saying to people, I remember it really clearly, I kept saying to people, well, I don't know if it's the ketones, but I'm feeling really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the ketones, but I'm sleeping great.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the ketones, but I've lost 2 pounds. And that went on for, I took a couple of months worth, and it kind of went on, and I kept on feeling better.
So you're getting the benefits of ketosis?
But I didn't change my diet.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, I wasn't in ketosis all the time. Let me make that absolutely clear. At the peak of taking them, I was having 2 serves a day. I was having one in the morning before I went to the gym, and I was having one in an afternoon when I had that energy slump.
Yes.
And so it was getting me through my gym workout, and it's getting me through my energy slump. And apart from that, I was still eating and drinking all the same. In fact, I would have said to you, I wasn't getting the hangovers that I'd had previously, that I was recovering from the alcohol use. So there was all sorts of what I thought at the time were benefits. Now, I probably continued on that journey for about a year and felt pretty damn good. The downside was they had some pretty significant side effects for me. So my gut got really upset, and I started to have significant irritable bowel symptoms, and in particular diarrhea. And when I say diarrhea, I mean chronic diarrhea. And some people will associate these ketones and things like MCT oil with diarrhea and a condition called disaster pants.
Understand.
Right? Disaster pants is where you've got to go to the bathroom and you just can't wait, and if you don't get there fast enough, you will basically have disaster pants. So I had serious diarrhea, 3 bouts of diarrhea a day for a year. But the benefits were so good. I was feeling so balanced, my hormones were feeling so good, I felt so good and full of energy.
Yes.
I was prepared to accept A, the cost, and B, the side effect.
Okay, interesting.
I then eventually transitioned off the ketones and onto a full keto lifestyle, where I now maintain a very good level of ketones and ketosis without taking a supplement. And after about 4 months, all of those gut problems have now completely, had gone away, and I felt amazing. So I think that, the story kind of illustrates the benefits you can get.
Yes.
So I think if you look at what you're using them for, if you want them for improved performance in the gym, they've definitely got a place.
Absolutely.
If you want them because you're transitioning onto the keto lifestyle, as I was, they've got a place, because they definitely help you get through the keto flu. They definitely help you get through that first few months. If you are fasting, and you're finding you're really hungry, they can suppress hunger.
Absolutely.
So they're a great way to just support your fast. If if you don't want to break your fast early and you want to go for a few days, then exogenous ketones can help you with that. If you don't want to change your diet, and you are adamant you want to have the benefits of ketones, I would say you're not going to get the full benefit. You definitely get some benefits from taking them. So again, if you don't want to get rid of the carbs, I'm not advocating that. That's not what I would do.
No, exactly.
Except it was what I did,
Yes.
and that's the irony.
But
now I know, now I've seen the light, I would say don't do it. But look, if you were like me and you didn't know any better, then you're going to get some benefit. If you've got something like cancer, there are amazing studies showing the benefits of ketones on cancer.
Right.
So I don't think there's enough information out there to say whether exogenous ketones do or don't help.
Because they're relatively new, aren't they?
They're relatively new, and the keto lifestyle has been around for almost 100 years. Exogenous ketones have been around for maybe 5 years.
Yes.
So look, if you have got something like cancer, it's worth looking into. If you have got something like type 2 diabetes, it's worth looking into. There is research around Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, those sort of brain conditions. There's research around autoimmune conditions. So if you have any of those conditions, then it may be worth looking into exogenous ketones, and it may be worth combining them, supplementing your diet. Or, for example, if you're travelling and you can't get a good diet,
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
yeah, they may be worth supplementing your diet with. So I can see a number of occasions where exogenous ketones are useful. My personal opinion is they shouldn't be your first, your go-to.
Yep.
That this can be done, be done naturally through diet, and you'll get even bigger benefits. So I certainly found once I went onto a natural keto lifestyle, the food and the fasting, my performance was supercharged.
Excellent.
So much better performance than I had from the exogenous ketones, but they had a real place for me because they got me into the full keto lifestyle.
They're much more sustainable having a keto lifestyle, whereas the exogenous ketones aid the cost. And just taking a supplement on a twice daily basis is quite onerous as well.
And that, and for me the side effects were a big drawback, because that was pretty nasty, and it took a long time for my gut to heal from that.
Good. So great, some great tips, and hopefully some insights for those who are tuning into it.
That's right. So have a look at them. Have a look at the keto supplements. Decide if they're right for you. Decide if you can do keto lifestyle on its own and get all the benefits, or if you need a bit extra support.
Yep.
And then, I guess the last thing I want to say is, if you do choose to go on one of these supplements, just be aware of, look at the ingredients. What's in them? How are they manufactured? What approvals does the company have? Are they FDA approved? What sort of price point are they? Because there's some very cheap supplements out there that are not very effective, and there are some very expensive supplements.
Excellent.
So you want to be going for one that's got you actually know what level of ketones you're getting in the supplement, and watch out for lots of nasty additives.
Some great tips, thank you.
Cool.